Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to take a look at one of the most neglected figures by the anime up to this date, for it seriously missed the awesomeness and unique strength that the Quagoa King truly brought to the novels. But before we're going to explain further, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. Also please check out my fantasy channel. The link to it is down in the description. Now with that said, let's dive into the personal strength of the Quagoan Lord. Pe-Riyuru is a uniquely powerful individual, but the anime failed to illustrate just how powerful compared to the New World standards he truly is. You might for example think that Strenght should be able to take care of him, but you would be gravely mistaken. Not even Clementine might win against Pe-Riyuru's strength, for the Emperor of the Quagoa is in truth a level 38 being, and therefore not only firmly, but almost beyond the realm of heroes, the same realm, aka the level area from 30 to 39, couldn't even reached by Strenght without his wild magic ring. And Pe-Riyuru was stronger than some frost dragons and could at least fight with them on an equal level. Only Overlord Dark Lilial, with his 46 levels, was so considerably more powerful that he couldn't beat him. So while the Quagoa were more or less a subject species of the frost dragons, in terms of power, the Quagoa could have definitely caught up to their strength, and eventually surpass it. And Pe-Riyuru was actually one who discovered the Dragon Horde and the entire abandoned city of Feoberkana, the lost capital city of the dwarves. And he led his clansmen there, formed anti-monster units, and fought himself plenty, and thus gained the loyalty and the respect of his fellow Quagoa. And this will also be the point where we go over his level in greater detail. The classes of Quagoa and Quagoan Lord are more or less self-explanatory, enhancing the abilities the Quagoa have, such as the usage of his claws, his teeth, and the natural armor that Pe-Riyuru has. And Quagoan Lord ties into the leadership skill of other Quagoa. So does the job class of Emperor, although it likely encompasses a much greater variety of skills meant for ruling a broader society than just a few tribesmen. And by the way, this is also the same job class Jerknuf, the Emperor of Barut, holds. But what makes him, Pe-Riyuru, such an exceptional fighter is that this Quagoa is a monk, aka a great unarmed fighter, and with his control over ki, he's also able to sense others in the pitch-black tunnels, heal his wounds or that of his tribesmen, and of course harden and enhance his already quite powerful and well-armored body. For surely Pe-Riyuru, in his youth, must have consumed one of the rarest ores in the Silesian mountains, maybe adamantite, or maybe even something far rarer, for adamantite is seen as bluish or black, and not as golden or red, so maybe during the attack by the evil deities, the same attack that basically drove the dwarves out of their capital city, there might be so much turmoil and chaos that somehow one of the rarest ores the dwarves had, maybe even one that was originally from Yggdrasil, became lost and forgotten in time, only to be discovered by Pe-Riyuru's parents 200 years after the downfall of the dwarven capital city. So he is really truly something special, which also brings us to his leadership style, for he not only led by example, but he also managed to turn the hostilities between the then still separate Quagoan clans into a boon for his very own reign and species. For he exploited the hostilities by promising leaders of different clans very rare ores in exchange for the completion of tasks and favors, and if one clan would betray him, then the others would not only complete the task for him, but also get the rare ores they so desperately wanted. This in turn united the Quagoan clans more and more, while they still maintained their rivalries and the competition between them, and this also would ensure that any traitors would quickly be denounced and dealt with, in order to not risk the loss of favor and therefore the loss of rare ores. And again, while they fell under the Frost Dragon's reign, they were focused on the Ice Giants and not on the meek subject species of the Quagoa, for others here was stronger than the Quagoan King and therefore failed to see the strength the Quagoa could suddenly eventually bring to bear once they defeated the dwarves and consumed the rare ores they had, as well as gaining access to their mines. And speaking of mines, while the Quagoan were naturally good at digging and fighting, this also meant that they didn't need to forge weapons and armor, especially because they were naturally resistant to metal weapons. As such, they remained a fairly low-tech civilization, operating on Stone Age level of technology. But with the aid of captured dwarves, Pe-Riyuru fought himself and his people about agriculture, the use of pack and farm animals, as well as the work of administration and more advanced strategies. Just like Hanjimal, the Fat Frost Dragon, he was fascinated with the knowledge of the dwarves. And Pe-Riyuru also greedily absorbed the knowledge because he considered information a great and valuable weapon. He also wouldn't lash out or cruelly punish his subjects for failures, but instead he would listen to what they had to say, learn from their mistakes, absorb any intelligence the Quagoan could muster, and acquire about the enemies, in order to then win the second and far more decisive battle. So Pe-Riyuru in this regard was very much akin to Ainsolgon himself, and surely he would have seen reason and would have become a subject to Ains, once he made it clear how strong the Sorcerer King is, and how much the Quagoa could profit from the knowledge the Sorcerer King has, and the rare ores Ain still carried with him. But without a demonstration of Sheltier's power, Pe-Riyuru chose to use his ability of Rallying Cry to rid his soldiers of any fear before sending them against Sheltier. Something he bitterly regretted, because Sheltier's massacre really hit him hard. Remember, he may be an autocrat, but he was a leader and not a tyrant. He loved and valued the life of his people, and his karma value with at least plus 40 was at least positive neutral. But even so, in defeat he at least could share his misery and bitterness, his grief and sense of tragedy with Emperor Jerknev, with whom Pe-Riyuru became quite close, because both shared a similar fate, and in the end the devastating defeat of the Quagoa, while being poetic justice from the dwarven point of view, for remember, Pe-Riyuru and the rest of the Quagoa wanted to eradicate every single dwarf. It was also a bitter thing, from the Quagoan point of view, because it could have been prevented. Nobody needed to die. And Ainsolgon, if things were just a little bit different, surely would have seen reason, and also explained his own power better to the Quagoan leader. And fun fact, we Germans also have a word for exactly describing the bitterness Pe-Riyuru felt: Weltschmerz, or world pain in English. The pain that arises if you compare the more ideal world that could have been to the world that had come to be. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Bad Guy Ye, Bad Boy 316, Bezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Duckwagon, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feral Shivan, Guy with Dead Head, Hector Marino, Horse, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Mervek, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Panton, Personage, Primus 11, Cune Caricos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rocket Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Zonagon. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.